Blank. Thank you for attending this meeting. Welcome to the meeting of what is known as the Ku-ring-gai Local Planning Panel. Firstly, on behalf of the panel, I recognise the traditional custodians of the land, the Ku-ring-gai people, on whose land we purport to meet. Any persons, there's a couple of business matters that I have to say before we actually go to the formal part of the meeting. They are that any person speaking at a local panel meeting are advised that their voice and personal information, including name and address, will be recorded as part of the meeting and made publicly available on Council's website via live stream. Just get my pretty picture better. And on-demand access, except any part of the meeting that is held in closed session. Accordingly, you must ensure that your address to the panel is respectful, that you use appropriate language and refrain from making any defamatory statements or discriminatory comments. Ku-ring-gai Council does not accept any liability for statements, comments or actions taken by individuals during a meeting of the local planning panel. And persons taking place are reminded that under the Local Government Act, the recording of meetings by a member of the public using any electronic recording device, including a mobile phone or video camera, is not permitted. Any person found recording without the permission of Council may be expelled from the meeting. On-demand viewing of each KLPP meeting will be available until the holding of the subsequent meeting. Recordings of KLPP meetings are copyright protected and cannot be reused or reproduced without approval of the Council. Now, proceeding to the formal business, the meeting will be conducted on the basis that each of those persons who are listed to speak will be invited to do so in turn. First of those who object to the proposal. Each will be allowed 3 minutes. That will be timed by a device, and there will be a warning bell when the 3 minutes are up, and you're asked, please, to observe the time and wind up quickly after that warning device sounds. The panel consists of 4 members. There is myself, the chairman, and 2 expert members and a community panel member. And I'll ask each one of the panel members to introduce themselves in a moment, and also in doing so ask them to indicate whether there are any declarations of interest which have to be taken account of in relation to the matters before the panel. And just shortly, there are no apologies received in relation to the meeting. Now, I'm the chairman. My name is Angus Talbot. My background is in the law. I spent periods of time as a solicitor, a barrister, and 15 years as a judge at the Land and Environment Court. And I've sat on a number of these panels over the years since stepping down from the court. I'll ask each of the, and I have no interest to declare, by the way. I will ask each of the panels in no particular, each of the panel members in no particular order to introduce themselves and indicate what particular qualifications they have to support their membership of the panel. So first of all, I'll ask Mr. Gerard Teresi to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gerard Teresi, I'm a town planner. I've got 36 years experience as a planner, 15 in local government, of which 5 years was at a director level, and the last 21 years in the private sector, acting for councils as well as for applicants. And I've got no conflict of interest, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Lucy. Jacqueline Townsend.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm a solicitor and I have a Masters in Environmental Law and Planning, and I have 14 years experience sitting as a panel member on regional and local planning, and a member of a consent authority for 8 years.
Thank you. And Elaine Malachy, our community member, please.
Yes, I'm the community member for Ku-ring-gai Council. I was 26 years a councillor, several terms as mayor. I've been on a variety also of external planning committees, including the regional and this local committee since its inception.
Thank you.
I have no conflict, Mr. Chair.
Yes, thank you very much. And I hear no declarations of interest from any member of the staff involved in this hearing, so I'll assume that there are no declarations of interest to be made there. As I said, the speakers will be called individually, and the first matter to be determined by the panel today relates to the property 31 Chiltern Parade, Wahroonga. It's the only matter listed for the public meeting. All other matters on the agenda do not require a public meeting to be held. The development proposed in respect of the property in Chiltern Parade, Wahroonga, is a Torrens title subdivision of 1 lot into 4 lots and some building works in relation to a dwelling house. We have 3 speakers. The first speaker that I have listed is Suri Ramanathan, and I asked Suri to speak. If you're there now, are you?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Your 3 minutes to start now, if you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Look, I'm 45 Billiard Avenue. This particular development goes from one side of Billiard, and I will have cars now on 3 sides of my property if the DA goes through. So I will try to keep it within 3 minutes. I've timed myself and revised what I'm saying.
Okay, good.
I've got 3 points. The first item is inadequate consultation and the errors of facts that have been found in the DA during a cursory visit by council officer, but yet the driveway has been recommended on Billiard Avenue. Let me elaborate a bit more, because as I said, my wife and I will be faced with 3 sides of cars. So we were asked to submit something in early June. The council report was done on the 30th of October. He desperately tried to call the council many times to get feedback, and finally succeeded in talking to the officer concerned on the 14th of November. And on the 15th of November, the officer visited us only a few days ago. I invited my neighbors who also had the same experience, given they've been involved with the history since 2008, and most of them have been involved with the various contentious developments. I expected, as a reasonable step, some type of greater consultation, given the absolute impact it has on me. And I found during the visit, they found things that we had said, such as the split level of my property, the swimming pool, amongst a range of other items, which were found to be errors of fact on the DA, but were dismissed in the report that's in front of you. But those errors of fact has a significant influence in terms of how we live. And, I have a young family, and the lights that come through and so on and so forth. And, I won't go into all the details of it, But the fact is, he saw it for himself with his eyes. It's not reflected in the document, and he has recorded it. The comment was the RMS stats, generic RMS stats were used in terms of the traffic that goes in from this subdivision into Billiard Avenue. It is not the lived experience, it's a standard stats. If you come and experience what I experienced trying to get out of my property and to get in back into the property, is all our other neighbors have submitted. The council does not appear to have observed it. We asked, but we couldn't get an answer. And again, as I said, it was only a few days ago, many items regarding lot 2 and lot 4, 2, 3, and 4 are yet to be finalized, but the DA is asked to be approved. Is it wrong to ask more consultation when 4 or 5 DAs have been rejected? For the same very reasons, we couldn't see what is so new in this DA that were previously rejected even by the Land and Environment Court. The second point is independent expert assessments. Given the fact that there has been a history here, why don't we have some independence in review? And we did ask this of the council. For example, it is clear we are happy to commission an arborist report, because I with my own eyes the trees that are there, and blue gum trees as well, that can't see on the drawing. So, that's one. The other aspect of it is, has the council reconciled every tree in the property to the plan? We didn't get any answer on that. It's a stock standard audit step, I would think. I don't know, we're not experts, but sounds like a reasonable question to ask. The same applies to stormwater. Council knows that we've been flooded. Recently, as this year, we sent photographs and whatever. I've got young kids. And the council officer told us, well, he's worried to go into that property because it's so overgrown recently that there could be snakes in it. We worry about that too. And then the next item is that the same issue goes to vehicle traffic as well. The last point I want to make is I have no objection to lot 1 can be built using Chiltern Parade. It is a short driveway. It has no schools on Chiltern Parade. There's no traffic impact. And we've gone and asked people as well. So and for these reasons, we object to the DA the way it is. We apply the reasonable person's test, and we scratch ourselves and thinking we don't understand. And that, Mr. Chair and the panel, is my submission. Didn't want to go through all the many details that's already listed out. And we've discovered more.
Well, thank you, Mr. Ramanathan, and you raised quite a number of points that the council, the members of the panel will certainly take into account. First of all, the panel members may wish to ask you some questions by way of clarification or otherwise. Ms. Townsend, do you have any questions? No question.
No.
I've got voice, yes. Ms. Malachy?
Yes, I'd be interested in finding out more about your flooding. Where did that come from?
Well, the water from the next property comes through into this property.
From the rear or from the right
from
of way?
From the rear, which is where we're at, which is on Billiard Avenue. And it goes past lot 43 Billiard Avenue, which is my neighbor.
Yeah.
And then comes down all the way through. And because there's no drainage as such, it seeps all the way through, bringing sludge and stuff into our swimming pools. I'm amazed that the council report actually says that drainage is fine. Everyone, including council, knows, and we got correspondence with council acknowledgement that it is, and we have El Nino, and that means it's going to be raining for the next 2 years, and you know, that's the so we got photographs, and certainly the other neighbors could speak for themselves, and I could tell you some of their in one home actually their living area is all flooded, and it's actually worse two doors down from my property, because it sort of slopes and it gushes down there. But
is it coming across your eastern boundary? Is it?
At the back of my property, yes.
So that's the southern boundary.
Yes.
Where the easement is, where there's a drainage easement.
Correct.
So the water is being channeled through the drainage easement and overflows into your property. Is that right?
As well as all the others, yes.
Okay.
And the council has been aware of this for quite a number of years, and certainly this year.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Teresi?
Yeah, I do have a quick question, Mr. Chair. Earlier on in your submission, you made comment about 3 driveways. The proposal only has 1 driveway, which is on your western side. Can you just elaborate what you meant by 3 driveways?
Yes, I just meant because the driveway goes on the side of me and Billiard Avenue, and then turns right around me into lot 3. That's what I call the three driveways. For me, I've got cars on 3 sides, and because of the elevation of lot 4, the lights will come directly onto me, and certainly lot 2 as well. It's very, very clear because we are on 2-level house, and all our living quarters are at the top, and I've got young kids.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, well, thank you for that assistance, and the panel will certainly benefit and take account of what you've had to say, and I think from their questions, clearly they understand what your concerns are. The next person to speak is Richard Maloney. You there? Oh, yes, I see just Richard. Thank you, Mr. Maloney. Are you ready to speak now?
Yes, I am.
Good, thank you. 3 minutes starts now. Thank you.
There are 2 magnificent and significant Sydney blue gums on the western boundary of the proposed driveway, being T81 and T78. Yet in this application, they barely rate a mention regarding their protection or the probable impacts and risks to them from the proposed driveway. What has happened since the Land and Development Court dismissed the appeal of DA 0381/09, where these 2 trees were a central point of concern? The construction of the driveway will undoubtedly increase the risk of damage to the roots of these trees, especially T81, whose base will be extremely close to the driveway. Both trees have had their tree protection zone severely compromised and yet dismissed, despite their tree protection zone covering extensive parts of the driveway. If either of these 2 trees are compromised in any way by the construction of the driveway, there will be significant increased risk to the occupants and the houses of both 43 and 45 Billiard Avenue. Regarding T81, this risk will also extend to the pedestrians and motorists using this section of Billiard Avenue. This heightened risk is not insignificant, and I note this for the record. The loss of a large number of native trees on the property due to the construction of the driveway and the subdivisions will negatively impact the habitat of many bird species which currently inhabit this property. The 3 bird boxes proposed are clearly only a token gesture. I hear these numerous birds calling and chirping in the early morning and the late evenings, and their loss will be a loss to the community. Over the past 8 years, there has been an ongoing stormwater flooding problem from the northwest corner of Lot 4, which Suri, my neighbor, has also mentioned. This is due to inadequate draining facilities that enter from the church property into the northwest corner of Lot 4. This has resulted in the swimming pools of both 43 and 45 being inundated with excessive silt-laden stormwater runoff. This excessive stormwater runoff will also negatively impact the lots of 4, 3, and the driveway. The stormwater drain system of 43 Billiard Avenue, which currently runs under the proposed driveway of Lot 3 and the driveway, is also not recorded on the subdivision plans. We have no objection to part 2 of stage 1 of this DA. The objection is to part 1 of stage 1, on which part 2 is not dependent. I therefore propose that part 1 of stage 1 should be the subject of a separate DA with greater scrutiny in consideration of the trees in particular and of the community at large. Thank you.
Mr. Maru, do you mention that the drain running under the driveway is not shown in the plans? I take it by that you mean the structure, because the easement would no doubt over which the drain is running is clearly indicated in the plan of subdivision.
So
it's the works that aren't there, the pipes that aren't shown, is that it, and aren't treated?
The pipes are not shown, yet the other stormwater drain that does run west-east is shown, yet the drains from 43 Billiard, which go under the driveway, the proposed driveway, and into Lot 3, don't appear on the plans that I've been looking at, on the subdivision plans.
All right.
It's just for the record.
Thank you. Panel members, any questions for Mr. Maloney, Mr. Teresi?
No, Mr. Chair.
None from me, Chair.
No, not from me.
Yes, thank you for your help, Mr. Maloney. And the panel will take a closer look at things as a result of you raising those matters. Thank you. The third person listed to speak is Andrew Minto. You come from Barara, Mr. Minto.
I do indeed, Mr. Chair. So I'm the Chair and panel members, Andrew Minto. I'm the consultant town planner engaged by the applicant on this matter. I'm speaking to you obviously in favour of the recommendation of the council report. Panel members, we have the opinion that the issues relevant to this application have been appropriately addressed within the council officer's report, and we look forward to your support of that application. Just quickly touching on a couple of the issues raised by the adjoining property owners. Firstly, in relation to trees, and in particular trees 78 and 81, both of those trees are proposed to be retained as part of this proposal. The engineering plans include specific driveway construction measures relative to the tree protection zone of those trees, and there are also conditions of consent proposed in relation to those trees. In relation to the issue of stormwater, it's noted that the proposal does not seek to rely upon the drainage easement which traverses the site from east to west. Stormwater from the proposal will be collected and drained through to Chiltern Parade. This will have the effect of reducing the amount of overland flow upon the site because of the amount of stormwater that will be captured from the driveway and proposed building platforms and the like. As I said, we're of the opinion that the issues raised have been appropriately addressed, and we look forward to your support. Thank you.
Any questions, Mr. Rizzi?
No, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Malachy?
No, no.
Ms. Townsend?
There's no drainage, there's no flooding notations on this lot, is there, that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Have you checked to make sure there's no flooding notes on the DP?
I've checked. Well, I've checked the planning certificate relevant to the site, and it doesn't identify any flooding issues.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your assistance, and those comments will be taken into account by the panel.
Thank you.
The panel will determine this application after the public meeting is adjourned, and the outcome of its deliberations and the determination will be published on the council's website with the intention of having that done within the next 24 hours. So we thank everybody for their assistance in relation to the information they've provided in regard to this matter. And I now formally close the public meeting. Thank you.